what do you think makes the perfect camera for the job for you? Like what have you been experiencing lately?
So I will say this. There are multiple considerations, but because we're on a show, and if I was going to give you one thing, I'm going to tell you what forces me to change camera packages depending on the job.
Okay.
And that is autofocus.
Autofocus is that important to you?
So it's not that it's so much as important to me as it is important to me, but depending on what I'm shooting, if it is a situation where I do not have a focus puller and I need solid autofocus, so not like interviews, not B-roll, but like we're at the rodeo.
Yeah.
And you're like filming subjects that are sporadically moving and you need good autofocus, I'm going to bring my Canon C70.
Yeah.
Like, just going to bring it. Not that it has the best autofocus, but trying to use the KX in that situation without any sort of assist, that's going to be a lot more difficult. Now, if the production calls for interviews, if the production calls for B-roll or product shots and that sort of stuff, and it's a very controllable environment, autofocus isn't that necessary, and then I can care more about the image. And so, like, for me, that's how I decide between whether the C70 comes out or whether the KX comes out. I feel like I love the colors and the dynamic range a little bit more in the KX than I do in the C70. But if I'm being really honest, they are really close that on a professional gig, I could bring either camera. The differentiator is going to be autofocus.
Yeah, I can 100% understand that. I feel like for me, maybe because I went like my cinema journey went black magic for 3 years.
Yeah.
And then from black magic, I went to the OG Komodo to the Raptor, and then shooting with the KX.
Mm-hmm.
I have been away from autofocus for so long on my main filming cameras.
Yeah.
That autofocus to me has just become like a nice to have if it's available. But I have burned into my head the simplicity of like filming with the freedom that is 6K or 8K raw.
Yeah.
Like yesterday when we were on our shoot, we shot B-roll for this school for 8 hours. How long were we there?
Oh,
felt like all day.
Yeah, seriously.
We were there all day. 6 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Yeah.
So what's that, 10 hours?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
10 hours of B-roll. Don't ask me what any of my camera settings were outside of the frame rate. Dude, I threw that thing at 24 frames a second or 23.98. White balance? 10?
ISO?
ISO? I don't know. Whatever looked good on screen just so I could see what I was filming.
Yeah.
I checked those telly bars. I made sure nothing was blown out or crushed. Cool, let's rock. And I film. And I'll tell you this, you made this point yesterday when we were driving home on the phone, and I was like, oh yeah, that's very true. Also for this project, I have an editor. Y'all, you want to become a lazy filmmaker? Hire an editor, because the idea of like, I was like, man, you at one point you were like, oh yeah, I mapped one of my buttons for auto white balance.
Yeah.
Just so you were close. And like the idea of going into my settings and doing that, I was like, yeah, but he's going to edit it. So, and I'm probably not going to get it right anyway. So he's going to have to make the same adjustment. So, you know, it is what it is. So like literally shooting raw to me, like a real raw has become such a lift. Yeah. And so that's why like when we talked about earlier about Nikon raw getting some of the red raw workflow. Yeah. If that becomes a thing, and then I can also get, you know, some of the benefits of that, you know, some autofocus, like from the Z8. Yeah. Oh, dude, this could be a game changer.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So I haven't done enough of the research on the new deal, which, who broke that story? What was his name? Philip?
I
every time I say his name, I want to say
got him up right
Philip Seymour Hoffman, but that's
Philip Holland.
Phil Holland.
Phil Holland.
Phil Holland posted this on his Instagram.
Yes.
And like blew my mind.
Yes.
Blew my mind. So that's sort of my thought on it. Everybody has their own, like, what works for them, but that's how it works for me.
And honestly, guys, a lot of your answers are so good. 100%. We are not saying dynamic range doesn't matter. We're not saying, because like I would say the same thing as you, Brandon, with the RAW. I've yet to be on a shoot, except for yesterday, where I didn't have to care about the settings. And if you don't know what we're talking about, shooting Red RAW, there are so many settings on. The only settings that they're gonna trash us for that. I feel like somebody in the comments is gonna trash us, like, you're not shooting properly. But the primary,
you're correct, we're not.
The primary,
because I need to get a lot of shots real fast.
The primary settings that have to be right in camera, it's you can set your shutter angle to 180.
That's what we did.
You set your project settings to what you need them to be,
2398 or 60.
And bro, if you make sure via your aperture that you are with not clipping your highlights or your shadows,
or with an ND, we ran ND for some of it.
Yeah, if you make aperture or your ND, if you're inside your goalposts, there is nothing that cannot be changed in post.
Yeah,
no other settings are necessary to be able to shoot.
Yeah, you can get your white balance later. Like, and that's the thing. It's like, because we were running very doc style, like, for me, I would rather have my settings wrong on camera and capture the moment than be fiddling around with getting my settings and then miss the moment when I know those settings can be changed later in post.
Yeah.
So that's the reasoning behind it.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go through the chat and let's see, because we might be out of touch.
We might be. Who knows?
Joe says, currently using the OG Komodo, Nikon Z6 III, and Fuji. Demands on...
Depends.
Oh, depends on the shoot. Am I low light? Nikon Z6 III. I need horizontal and vertical. Then the open gate on the H2S. Everything in 6K. 6K is life.
Did I miss something about the Nikon Z6 III? Is he saying... Am I low light? Nikon Z6 III is his choice?
I think he is. Do I need horizontal and vertical? Then open gate. That's an interesting choice. Kev says, for day-to-day events and interviews,
solid.
C70. You know, yesterday's job was the only time that I was really like, this could have been a C80 job.
Yeah.
But I don't know how good the C80 is at making some of those auto adjustments. I need to probably do some more research and shoot with it and find out.
Yeah, I don't feel like its RAW is as comprehensive.
Yeah, but if it just had, like, if it could get the white balance correct, and I could ride the built-in NDs, then I feel like we could have had the autofocus.
Yes.
And we could have been okay.
Yes. No, I will say the C70, it's my do-all. Like, I can take a C70 almost into any situation and it'd be good. Is it the best at low light? No. Is it really good at low light? Yes.
Yeah.
The C80 is going to be better.
Yeah.
With the 12,800, but it's like, I genuinely, from interiors to real estate to weddings to commercials, C70 is the camera.
Louder and Clear says he agrees. Jarrell, autofocus is the biggest difference, especially the Canon face-only implementation, which was a total game changer for multicam talking heads while flying solo.
Yep.
Iru says autofocus is a must for a lot of things. I also know now 10-bit, not going back to 8-bit.
That is a non-negotiable.
Yeah, I feel like if the camera doesn't have 10-bit, I'm not even interested. Don't even talk to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because honestly, and Iru, if your journey ever leads you to 12-bit or 16-bit one day, maybe don't even go down that road. Because the moment you hit 16 bits from Red, it's almost like you can't It's almost like you can't turn around. Like, the depth is, it's just different. You look at it, you're just like, oh my gosh, it's crazy. Now, he's wanting me to glaze. That's the reason why he put the camera on me. He's like, glaze more. We're going to clip this. I'm just saying, dude, the red 16-bit color depth is psycho. Now, I know there's a bunch of crazy people. And you're like, it's not, whatever, blah, 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 has the same thing. You don't. Stop playing with their name. Gosh, bro. If your name ain't Ari, stop.
This man just pissed off the whole chat.
I'm sorry. Until you play with that red raw footage, I don't even want to hear. I don't want to see what you've seen on YouTube.
Oh
I want to know. I want to know what you shot on red, put in your NLE, and looked at it.
Actually, you know what's crazy? If anybody is interested, if you go to red.com, you can download free red footage for you to play with, and my footage is actually on Red's website.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The stuff we shot for the ballet. We shot low light stuff, and car stuff. Yep. All of that is available on Red's website. So just go to red.com. It's not, it's free, so it's not sponsored. But yeah, my work is on Red's website. You can download it, play with it for yourself. You'll see my name. Download my clips, edit them, and then let us know what you think. Israel says, for me, as a documentary DP, where I am filming in multiple different scenarios, high dynamic range makes or breaks my projects. This is actually the main reason I have the S1H. Barely use the autofocus.
Is the autofocus good? I heard that.
Back then, I don't think it was.
I heard that the single point autofocus was good, but like the tracking wasn't very good. You tell us, because I know there's probably been updates, but that's what I was gonna say for the Lumix still. That I wonder if they need better autofocus.
Yes. All right. And then John says what's important to him is autofocus, low light, built-in indies, suitable for events, interviews, documentaries, and films. Yeah, it's stuff like that that's really got me, like, I haven't looked at it in a minute. And I think what happened was I started looking at the FX6 again. And then I was just like, no. I don't know why. Every now and again, I see a few videos and a few rigs. I'm like, oh, what is that? And I say, oh, it's the FX6. And I think about it and I immediately go, nah. But then that makes me go, but the C80. So I don't know.
Their electronic ND is the one thing that keeps them close to me, proximity-wise. The FX6. Like, why do we not have electronic ND? Maybe it's a patent thing.
Yeah, I don't know. DM Colorist says, did Red finally create the 4K for 4K? Do y'all remember that claim to fame? Well, DM Colorist, I want you to know that Red is currently under new management. So I don't know if we're gonna get that claim. Might have went out with the past owners. Hey, thanks so much for checking out the Uncensored channel. Do us a huge favor. If you enjoy this content, hit that subscribe button. We'd love for you to join us live every single Friday at 11 o'clock Central Standard Time. We have so much fun and we want you to be there. So subscribe so you don't miss it.